So, take my earplugs out. So I'm mowing down this cover crop of peas. These were field peas. We got these from Johnny's way back a couple years ago, back when we started doing microgreens just as an experiment. Field peas are cheaper than regular peas, and they're not exactly for human consumption. I think their intended purpose is for a cover crop, and peas just generally are the concept with peas is that they restore nitrogen back in the soil. Of course, as I'm mowing this, I see, we basically just have a garden full of grass. There are peas obviously mixed in here, but it's a lot of grass. And so as I'm mowing, I'm questioning, well, one, are we even doing this right? And being a first attempt, chances are probably not. But, just the concept of having the field go, having this portion of the garden go just fallow, just leave it totally alone. Don't bother buying anything, any cover crops. Just let it go fallow. Whatever comes up, what would they be detrimental? Just what we would call weeds. Would that be detrimental or not? Anyway, these are just thoughts I'm having, questions, right? So it would obviously be cheaper to let it go fallow. Not that these cost a whole lot. I think a bag, this is 1,000 square feet of bed space. I think you need about 5 pounds of peas, which is like $25. So it's not a big deal. Anyway, yeah, these are, another thought I've been having is, okay, well, instead of field peas, get actual peas, grow them in here, and they could restore nitrogen, but then you also get an actual crop you could sell for food, right? So do reel up peas. Look at you can see all these are actual pea pods. And, they say not fit for human consumption, but I'm sure it would be fine. I don't know exactly what, what variety of pea this is, but, they're in there, right there. Little peas. So, these are the seeds. Like our microgreens, those are pea seeds that we're sowing. And these look exactly like that. They're green, they're fresher. But look. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we could actually plant real peas and then see what we get. It'd be a lot of manual labor. Imagine plucking all of these off the plants, sort of like peanuts, plucking them off and then maybe put in like a half pint or a pint, one of those blue cardboard containers, something like that. That'd be kind of cool. You can trellis them. You can see they've fallen over because of wind and old age and whatever combination of things. So a trellis would maybe help keep them upright, maybe protect them structurally. But otherwise, yeah, that would be another idea. That would be a little more enticing to me, is a chance to actually harvest a crop and then sell it. And at the same time, because it's a crop that offsets normal other vegetables that you might grow, it could restore the nitrogen back in the soil. So yeah, so those are thoughts. So either get real peas and sell those as a future idea, or just let the whole field go fallow. Don't bother buying cover crops. Just let whatever comes up come up, and then eventually tarp it, cover it all up. So that's what I'm going to do later here, and maybe half hour or whatever. Once I finish mowing this thing, I'm going to pull the tarp up and cover the whole thing with the tarp. So anyway, those are my thoughts while I've been mowing. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show. So watching the playback of my little speech there, as I was mowing, the thoughts going through my head, generally it was how much benefit were the peas actually providing? If they're supposed to be restoring nitrogen, well, can you measure that? Well, maybe you could, right? It's possible to take a soil test. I could have, in hindsight, taken a soil sample or a couple samples in that upper garden,
before planting the peas, and then taking some samples sometime after mowing them down, sent them off to a lab, get the analysis, and then maybe you see some number differences, right? And that would be great. That would be an actual quantitative way of seeing that you made a difference. But, you know, as far as farming economics go, you know, if you spend X amount of your budget on cover crops, you know, what you would want is that the result, you know, the resulting plants are that much better. So much so that, you know, your yields, yields minus the cost of the crops, cover crop, yields for the vegetable crops minus the cost of the cover crops, including the labor of applying the cover crops. If that whole thing is better than the yields you get from your vegetables if you just let the field go fallow. Of course, there's not really any labor with that. So that's the big question. And these are, you know, deep philosophical farming questions and things that, you know, I'll just continue to ask as we go forward and try to learn about. You know, another avenue that farmers take is to just import their soil effectively, you know, bring in compost. And we've done that ourselves. And you can build the soil that way, and you plant into the compost, and the compost over time kind of works it into your actual soil, and you know, you're building nutrition that way. You know, it's one way or another. You know, plants are consuming nutrition; they're depleting the soil of nutrients. So you've got to supplement one way or another through either a combination of crop rotation, or cover crops, or compost. So, you know, it's something to continue to weigh. And of course, big ag style would be to buy lots of fertilizer, chemical fertilizers and things, and use those. And of course, want to try to avoid that because, you know, there are lots of negative things about polluting waterways and that sort of thing, runoff. And so just looking at these other more organic forms of nutrition supplementation. Anyway, so appreciate you watching. As I've been blabbering here, you know, I obviously tarp the upper garden, and so we're just going to leave that as is and maybe plant into it in a few months. We'll see how it goes. And then right now I'm covering the lower section that got exposed with weed blocker. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the market soon. And if not, you can't make it to the market, you can always come to our farm stand. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.